Good day, students. Welcome to another lesson on slave trading. We have learned thus far in our previous lesson why there was a need for raw materials, especially in the textile factories during the Industrial Revolution in Britain. And then Britain unsuitable climate for producing these raw materials. So we also learned that America was a British colony during this time with suitable climate to grow raw materials. Um, Tobacco, cotton, rice, and sugar that was needed. So the native American tribes would not work in the plantation as laborers, since they lived off the land and the needs were already met. So the endangered laborers from other parts of Europe also left the plantation once they became skilled. Work on the huge plantation was labor intensive. So plantation owners then started using the slave labor as it was more profitable for them to own and control their workers. We also learned about the hardship experienced by the slaves being transported from West Africa to the American South. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about slave markets. So the key concept to auction means to be sold or offered for sale to whichever buyer offered the highest prices. Indigo is a blue-colored dye obtained from a particular plant. Snuff is finely ground tobacco which is sniffed through the nose. The key concept that you're going to learn also molasses, which is a dark brown syrup that is left after sugar is made. Carpentry is making things from wood. Branded is marked on the skin. So whenever the ships of the slaves arrived from Africa, there was great excitement among the plantation owners. Slaves were a form of cheap labor, and of course, the slaves would become the property of the owners. So slaves were auctioned like cattle. Their teeth and eyes were examined to see if they were healthy. Traders would rub fat all over their bodies to make their skin shine, and then the slaves were paraded about, inspected, and auctioned, and sold off to the highest bidder. So slaves we had previously worked on plantation had skills such as building, carpentry, and cooking, or those who could read and write sold very well. Family members were often sold to different buyers, which meant they would never see each other again. So once sold, they were often branded as proof they belonged to their new owners. Okay. So refer to the postal slaves that sell and answer this question. Okay. So about 12 million slaves were taken to America and about 2 million are believed to have died. Britain transported the raw materials from American colonies to British factories. Cotton was woven into fabrics and clothing. Dye from the indigo plant was used to give fabrics a bright blue color. Sugar, which was processed from sugarcane, was used as a sweetener. Molasses were used to make alcoholic drinks. Tobacco leaves were processed in the cigarettes and snuff. Most of the manufactured goods were sold back to the people in America. Some were exchanged in West Africa for more slaves. Okay. So the slave trade was one leg of a big economic triangle. Europeans took the slaves to American colonies from West Africa and the Caribbean. This was the first leg of the triangle. Then raw agricultural produce from the plantation on which the slaves worked in the American colonies were then transported to Europe. This was the second leg of the triangle. The European countries then exported the goods made from these raw materials to the American colonies. This was the third leg of the triangle. So the system became known as the triangular trade. And we'll come to the end of the lesson.